All right, welcome. We are now joined by Big Daddy Ritch with the Texas Hippie Coalition. How you doing today?
Doing great, baby. Doing great.
Awesome. Pleasure to connect with you and promote the new album. I was in the front row covering you guys at the Mayhem Festival back in 2014.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, that was my introduction to the band. Little did I know I'd be forever enjoying it. It was quite a great set. It was out here in San Bernardino, California.
Oh, right on, early on in the tour. Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun time. Well, I know THC, Texas Hippie Coalition, been around a while. Give us a quick little background. Starting the band. I know you're into everybody from Johnny Cash, Waylon and Willie, and ZZ Top, and the crew, and everybody. But give us an idea, the impetus, to start the band and start this journey.
Well, I really just started the band so I could get laid in my hometown. So actually, when we started, on a serious note, when we started discussing the musical direction and what the band would be, there was just something missing for me in the music world. The bands that I grew up on, like Leonard Skinner, Molly Hatchet, ZZ Top, they didn't seem to exist anymore. So we thought we would try to put together this band and try to have a little bit of that Southern style, like a Corrosion of Conformity or Pantera. Of course, my lyrical content lends itself to the storytelling of the aforementioned Waylon, Willie, and Johnny Cash. And Cash, the very reason I wear all black all the time, big hero of mine. And just wanted to make sure that the music that we were playing was made you want to get up and party, be it Motley Crue, Van Halen, and all the bands we grew up on in the 80s. So it's a big old pot of chili, you know what I mean? So I just felt like there was some of that was just missing out there for me. So I wanted to start up the band and see what the world thought about it. I felt like at the time there was an appetite for it, but once we started introducing it to the world, I could tell that people weren't just hungry for it, they were starving for it. And as you said on the Mayhem tour, to go out there among all them big, gigantic names and to be so well received and to dominate the merch on the tour and to be one of the most talked about bands every day leaving the festival, just let me know we were on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, music's got to continue to grow and move forward, but so much, when we look back, so much of that great music came out of the 70s, with the Skinners and ZZ Tops and all those classic, bands, the first Van Halen records and all that. What do you think it was about the 70s that brewed such timeless music?
I just think that back then, everything was real. Your grandma had a ladle that was made out of stainless steel, and she had it for 10, 20 years, and she passed it down to you, and you've had it for 10, 20 years. And I think that now the world is just so made up of plastic and stuff that, you buy a dollar ladle every 6 months. So I think back then everything was just very real and very strong, and today things just aren't as real, so they're just not as strong.
Yeah, well, I know you dip into that classic, but you're always moving forward. Tell us about the High in the Saddle album and kind of what you're most proud of achieving, looking back over these songs like Moonshine and everything on this album.
Man, this album here for me, it was just seeing where we've been at this whole time and always being on this one cog. I really just wanted to take a chance and see if I could put out an album that could maybe help us jump up to the next cog. And I'm hoping that that's what we've done. The songs seem to me to be strong across the board. The fans that have been with us from the beginning, they have stuff in there that they could grab a hold of. Our fans that we've just garnered in the last couple of albums, they have some stuff there. And then I think there's some stuff that we're bringing to the table that is, not necessarily out of the box for us, but maybe even, just a little bit outside the box, but maybe it'll help us to garner some new fans, and we can have our fan base grow.
Yeah. Well, I know it's been a long road to get to this point, and great to see you on a great company like E1. Now, I know a few band members have been through the group. What's it take to really rock with THC? What do you look for in a band member, and why do you feel you have the right unit now?
Well, I mean, in the past, not necessarily that we didn't have the right unit. It's just that the band that we are, we have to tour, 30 plus weeks a year, and it can take a heavy toll on some people. And some people, they're not bull riders, and they get thrown off the bull. And other people turn into anchors, and when they turn into anchors, you have to cut them loose. The guys that I have with me now, I mean, I think the main reason I like to take the stage with them is they're all great musicians, first of all, in their own rights and their own bodies. They're absolutely what you need in a guitarist, a bass player, or a drummer. And I've surrounded myself with not only good musicians, good songwriters, and just genuinely good people that they're easy to roll down the highway with. And when you're sharing a jail cell with 5 or 6 other people, you definitely want to be able to get along with them. And these guys seem to like me, and I love each and every one of them. So pleased and happy to have this lineup with me. I feel like it's a dominant lineup, probably the best musicians the band's ever had by far. Cord Pull being with me now for 7 years, my guitar player, my right-hand guy, great songwriter. I mean, Texas Hippie Coalition has become as much his band as mine, and he's been turning out great songs ever since we wrote our first song together, which was on the Peacemaker album, which was on the Right On album, which was called El Diablo Rojo. So we just keep turning out great songs in my mind, and having the Romos there now helping me write, just being able to go into the studio with nearly 20 songs and picking 10 albums a whole lot easier than going in with 10 and coming out with 10.
Absolutely. It's a great album, and the Hall and Moonshine tour is rolling out, and besides the legal moonshine, obviously a lot of advancements have been made in the legal medical marijuana world, and I understand the Triple R Ranch in Oklahoma is definitely a helpful project for all of us lovers of the plant. Tell us about that.
Well, I bought a ranch earlier this year, and the state of Oklahoma gave us a license to be a grower, and the name of the company is Red River Reds LLC. We happily refer to it as the Triple R Ranch. Right now, we're growing some of the strongest strains from Ethos Genetics, and we have Crescendo that we're growing. We have Apex, and we have this one called Insane and the Membrane, which are they're all three off the chain, producing large yields and beautiful buds. But we also have some other strains. We got Snoop Dogg's favorite Green Crack, and Green Monstar seems to be one of our most enduring plants. And right now the ranches, we're killing it, we're kicking it, and everything's coming up green.
And what can you say to the people that supported liquor all this time, but thought the hemp plant, the marijuana was like heroin or something? What can you ease those people on as far as the medical benefits of everything you see? People getting nice and peaceful and creative, on some herb.
Right. I think that just back in the day, the government got a hold of that and wanted to scare people just because it was probably the most popular of all the drugs. So they wanted to categorize it with, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and such. And it definitely doesn't belong in that category. Should have never been there. But, the fact that the rest of the world, or the rest of the United States is, the world too is Canada just legalized it, but the United States, about 5-6 states now, recreational, somewhere in the near 20s or more than 20 states are medicinal, and I think that just gives the that's made by man to have something that's made by God. And the healing powers of it seem to be, cigarettes cause cancer, marijuana cures cancer. I'm always saying that people just need to have someone in place that can use common sense, and I think the common sense is now that it's not bad for you, so it seems to be good for you, and people are coming on board. But I think where the real changes, people are going to start seeing stuff like in the state of Oklahoma, which has one of the worst school systems in the United States. You're going to start seeing the education of these kids be expanded just from this money coming in from medical marijuana. So there's all kinds of great things coming from it, not just helping to cure chronic or illnesses. It's also helping to broaden educations, and maybe we can even do more within the state of Oklahoma, like Colorado has done, where the citizens of Colorado are getting kicked back and tax cuts, tax breaks because of it. And I think if the rest of America could start seeing stuff like that happen to them, they'll definitely accept it with open arms or open lungs.
Yeah, I know so many people, benefit, like you say, the sick and those that are going through, cancer treatments and all that. What do you think it's going to take to get Texas on board?
I think that, Oklahoma's already there. New Mexico's there. I think these states, like from Louisiana over to Florida, Alabama, those are going to be slow states to move on it because there's so much money for them to be made from it being illegal. And I think Texas sees it that way too. But Texas has already pretty much decriminalized marijuana. If you have under 2 ounces and you tell them you've got it on you, you don't try to hide it from them. I think it's like $150 to $300 fine. So they've definitely softened their view on it, but they haven't come around full-heartedly. And it could take 4 to 8 years, but I think I see, depending on who's president in 2020, and after that, there's a possibility it could become legal across the United States.
Yeah, well, let's all hope for positive change. Now, Rich, give us a little advice to those creatives coming up, those players and people that want to be, in the music business and all that. I know the industry's changed a lot, but there's opportunities for those, but they got to persevere and really dedicate themselves. What advice do you have you can impart that you've learned, for what it takes to survive?
Right. Well, I'm on the road 28, 30 weeks out of the year, so that's the first thing you're going to need to have an understanding of is that you're going to have to set half the year aside to tour. And then the other half of the year, you have to constantly be promoting yourself, self-promoting, doing whatever you can to help your band advance. So it's, believe me, a 40-hour-a-week is nothing when you're in the music business and trying hard as we're trying. It's nonstop. The only thing about it is that you don't have to work for a living. You get to play for a living, and that's where the reward comes from. If you're in it for the money, you better be in it for a bunch of years because it's going to take a lot of years to get to the money part of it. But the thing that I see that is the most frustrating, and it's strange because people will say stuff, about band members that are no longer with me or no longer with the band, and the thing is that some of them, they get bucked off the bull, and some of them you have to just cut the anchor away. And that's the thing is that there's a lot of bands that came out 5-10 years ago that you might have absolutely loved, but because one person quit the band or something, there was some kind of disgruntledness between the band members or something, the band just stopped to just continued, no longer exist. And just think if when Fleetwood Mac lost their first couple of members, if they would have just shut it down, we would have never known the Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks, and it would have just been a shame. So I just tell everybody, the thing is to persevere overall. Don't quit, don't stop, just continue. And if somebody jumps off the ride or someone wants to put a monkey wrench in the ride, you just get rid of them and get someone else that's on the same page or the same mindset that you are. You got to continue continue, man. If you're going to stop, you're going to be forgotten.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Rich. I know High in the Saddle is the new album, Moonshine, the new single, Haulin' Moonshine, the tour. We look forward to catching you on the road, man. I can tell everybody from first experience, you are in for a treat. Thanks so much for joining us, Rich. We'll see you on the road.
Thank you.